You aren't stuck, all right? You're not stuck in a position where you have to work for the rest of your life in a particular job. You're not stuck in the house that you're in. You're not stuck with that partner that you're with, all right? You're not stuck. If you are unhappy as a man, you need to move, okay? You need to make change, right? If we don't become adaptable, if we don't change over time, things just stay the same. I know that sounds simple, but things become stagnant, all right? You're not stuck in that same job. If you don't like your job, start looking for new jobs. If you don't like that job, start thinking of a business to start building on, and keep trying. I've heard of people failing, like I think it was that Hormozy guy, Alex Hormozy, failed like 9 times, 9 businesses he failed before the ones that he had succeeded. You know, for me, I applied for like 90 jobs before I got one that really sat with me, and I didn't stop looking for jobs. When I was working, I had a supervisor that I really didn't like, and I still have a supervisor now that I don't like. I'm looking for different work, and I was looking for different work even when I was working. The security is good, but don't get tied down into fear. You know, like, if you want to make a change, you need to do that as a man. Okay, as a man, you need to just get up and make that change. If you're overweight, all right, you need to make a change. You don't have to stay overweight. You don't have to stay stuck. If you're on drugs, and you have a drinking problem, you have addiction problems, you don't have to stay that way. Okay, it comes from recognizing. If you have that voice in your head saying you shouldn't be doing something, or you need to make a change, you need to listen to that voice. Okay, you need to physically get up and move. Even if you fall down, all right, you need to get back up and keep moving. You know, when I was on drugs, I've been sober off of drugs and alcohol for 2 years, 2.5 years, even cigarettes and all addictions. I've been clean for 2.5 years, and I failed so many times in giving up alcohol, giving up smoking weed, and other drugs that I was doing. I kept failing, you know. I would quit smoking weed, then I'd go see my dealer, and then I'd buy some more weed, and I'd feel like an absolute failure. But it's not how many times you fail; it's how many times you keep going. Yeah, you're not stuck. All right. Whatever situation you're in right now, you can change it. Even if you fail, okay, giving up, give up again. You know, just keep picking yourself up, and keep sticking at it. No matter how many times you fail, keep getting back up, and hitting back. You know, I think that's what we need to do as men. You don't want to be stuck on drugs. Okay, you're not stuck on drugs. You don't want to be stuck as an alcoholic. Okay, you can die early. You don't want to do that because you want to build your life, and pass on your seed, and have your generations go on. All right, your seed to go on for generations. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. You're not stuck in a position that you're in. Take a risk. There's nothing wrong with taking a risk. You know, I feel so good, man. Like, when I finally let go of that job, you know, when I lost my first one of my first jobs, when I got back into the workforce after like quitting drugs. um Actually, no. So I got my first job, I had quit drugs, and then I got back on drugs because there was more people there smoking weed with me. You know, so we were all smoking weed together, on our lunch breaks. I ended up getting hooked back into the drug life from work. You know what I mean? But when I lost that job, I was an even heavier addict, and then I recognized again that I needed to quit, and I just kept hitting. I kept throwing punches back to the addiction, and I was hitting the gym as much as I could, but I became really depressed after I lost that job because oh no, jobs are just some jobs are really toxic. Had a supervisor that would we're a family sort of business, and I didn't recognize those red flags. So you're not stuck, all right? Sometimes it's just a season that you're going to be doing something for a season, and you got to move on. Like that season ends, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't be stuck in something forever just because you like the security. You're not going to grow like that. I know so many people that think success equates to being with a company for 10 years. That is the saddest, most skin-tearing thing that I've ever heard in my life. Being with the same company for like 10 years, that's, I don't know, I can't do that, I'm just not built for that, and I'm sure you're exactly the same, so take advantage of change when you're inspired by it. If you feel that you need to shift, follow that shift. You never know where life's going to take you if you take that leap forward. But you do know where life's going to take you if you stay in the same spot. You're going to be there. If you stay in the same job, you're going to be stuck there. All right? You don't need to feel stuckness. Okay? That security that you've got now is replaceable. You can replace the security that you have. If you have a high paying job, fair enough. Like you want to stick with that. You have some plans, do that. Like if you've got something secure, do it. But at the end of the day, if you're not happy in a job, just move. You know what I mean? Like find another job. Invest in yourself. You're not stuck. All right? So get the fuck up and start moving. Do something different for your life. Okay? The familiarity you'll get over it. You know what I mean? And you'll make new friends. You'll make new work friends. You'll make new work colleagues. Right? You'll get better experiences. You might get a few shit experiences before then, but that's okay. That's life. We go up and down, but just as long as you're not staying stuck in the same spot. Because to me, I feel like you just die when you stay stuck in a job. When you stay stuck in a job, especially that you're not happy in, there's nothing worse. Like I'd rather be dead. I would much rather be dead than to be stuck in the same dead-end job with people that I don't like, supervisors that I don't like, pretending to be happy when I'm there. If the signs are there, just do it, man. Like take a leap forward. Change your jobs. Obviously keep the job until you've decided or found another one. Don't be silly and just like resign. I mean, if you can, if that's possible, why not? If you need a holiday, go ahead. But I would say do the safe thing and keep putting away money. But if you don't like your job, change that shit. Life's too short. All right. This is a nice little short motivational one. So yeah, baby.